I'm Sophia Caldwell, I'm 28 years old, and at my own engagement party, my father hit me across the face in front of 100 guests for refusing to give my irresponsible sister my entire $60,000 wedding fund. Before I tell you about how that one slap led to an unbelievable corporate showdown that cost my father his entire company, let me know where you're watching from in the comments below. I'd love to see how far this story reaches. It was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. The Silver Oak restaurant was glowing with soft piano music drifting through the air, mingling with the low hum of conversation and laughter. My fiancé Ryan was standing beside me, his hand in mine, his smile so bright it could have lit up the entire city. We'd worked so hard for this, for everything. I'd spent years climbing from nursing school to building my real estate portfolio, saving every spare dollar, planning for a future I could be proud of, a future with him. Our friends and family were all there. My maid of honor Natasha was already a few drinks in, getting ready to tell some embarrassing story from our college days. Ryan's family, the Mitchells, had welcomed me with open arms from day one. His father, Dr. Mitchell, a man I respected immensely, had just given a toast that made my eyes water. Even my old mentor from nursing school, Professor Williams, had driven 3 hours to be there. The room was filled with love. Well, almost. At a table near the front sat my family, my father Harold and my mother Evelyn, their faces tight and unsmiling. Next to them, my younger sister Bethany was slouched in her chair, endlessly scrolling through her phone, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. That was Bethany for you. While I was pulling all-nighters through nursing school and working part-time jobs, she was dropping out of college to become an influencer millionaire, a dream that crashed and burned, taking a hefty chunk of my parents' money with it. But she was, and always had been, the golden child. The night was perfect until my father stood up. He tapped his glass with a fork, the sharp ding cutting through the warm chatter. "A quick word," he announced, a strange smile plastered on his face. The room fell silent. He gave a short, generic congratulations, his eyes barely meeting mine. Then his tone shifted. It became cold, hard, and public. "I also have an important family announcement," he said, his voice booming with authority. "Today I'm giving Sophia's $60,000 wedding fund to her sister Bethany. Give your sister the money now, or this engagement is over." A collective gasp sucked the air out of the room. I felt Ryan's hand tighten around mine. It had to be a joke, a twisted, horrible joke. "Dad, that's not funny," I said, my voice shaking slightly. His eyes narrowed. "This isn't a joke. Your sister needs it more than you do. You're just a nurse. You can earn it back." I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor. "No. That money is legally mine. I saved it. We planned our wedding, our future, with that money." "Don't be so selfish, Sophia," my mother chimed in, her voice sharp. "Bethany is your sister. Family is supposed to help family. You've always been the responsible one." "I've always worked more." The words ripped out of me before I could stop them. I worked through nursing school. I saved. I planned. Bethany blew her entire fund on designer bags and failed business schemes. "She's trying to build a brand," Evelyn snapped, her voice rising to a shrill pitch. "What brand? Another Instagram scam?" I shot back. That's when it happened. My father, his face flushed a deep angry red, took 2 quick steps toward me. I saw it coming, but I couldn't believe it would actually happen. Not here, not now. The slap was loud and sharp. My head snapped to the side. For a second, there was just a ringing in my ears and a hot, stinging sensation on my cheek. The entire room seemed to freeze in a collective moment of disbelief. Then chaos erupted. Ryan screamed my name and rushed to my side, putting himself between me and my father. Natasha was on her feet, her face thunderous. Dr. Mitchell looked horrified. I saw Ryan's sister Olivia discreetly raise her phone, her face grim. She was recording. It was in that moment, as I straightened up and met my father's furious gaze, that something inside me broke. Or maybe it was finally forged into something hard and unbreakable. The years of swallowing my anger, of accepting the injustice, of trying to be the good daughter, it all evaporated. I looked my father directly in the eyes and said calmly, "You'll have an unforgettable surprise coming your way." And right then, the police walked in. My father's face went completely white with shock. To understand why a father would hit his own daughter in a room full of people, you have to understand the years leading up to that slap. You have to understand our family foundation, which wasn't built on love but on a rigged system of favoritism that had been poisoning us for decades. Let's rewind to earlier that evening. The Silver Oak had been a dream. Ryan and I had walked in, and seeing all those faces who genuinely cared for us, it was overwhelming in the best way. Ryan was my rock. We'd met through mutual friends 3 years ago. He was a brilliant IT entrepreneur, sharp and funny, and we clicked instantly. We weren't just a couple, we were a team. We spent weekends hiking, planning our dream home, and making financial plans at our kitchen table. We were building a life, brick by brick, and every brick was earned. My best friend Natasha was there, already holding court at the bar. We'd been through everything together since nursing school. She was the one who dragged me to parties, and I made sure she studied for finals. Now she was my lawyer and business partner. She knew my family situation better than anyone. She'd seen the casual dismissals, the blatant favoritism firsthand. "You ready for this?" she'd asked, squeezing my shoulder. "Going to be a long night of speeches." "As long as you keep yours under 10 minutes, I joked. Then there were the Mitchells. Dr. and Mrs. Mitchell treated me like the daughter they never had. When I'd asked for their blessing to marry Ryan, Dr. Mitchell simply said, "Sophia, I've seen how you two support each other. That's all a father can ask for." Their acceptance was a balm on a wound I didn't always admit I had. These people, Ryan, Natasha, the Mitchells, they were my real family. The family I had built. And then there was the family I was born into. They arrived late, of course. My father Harold strode in like he owned the place. My mother Evelyn followed, scanning the room judgmentally. Trailing behind was Bethany. To understand Bethany, here's one story. During nursing school, I was working 60 hours a week in a hospital, exhausted, just to pay for textbooks. One evening, I called home and my mom answered, frantic. "Sophia, thank God you called. It's Bethany." "What happened? Is she okay?" I asked, my heart pounding. "She's fine," she said dismissively. "She just had trouble with her credit cards. Maxed them out on designer bags for her Instagram. Your father already paid them off. But she's feeling down. You should call her, cheer her up." I hung up, hands trembling with rage. I had $200 in my account. My sister had blown through thousands on designer bags, and I was supposed to comfort her. That was the dynamic. I was responsible, self-sufficient, so I was taken for granted. Bethany was creative, code for reckless and irresponsible, so she always needed saving. She was the project. I was just there. Even Uncle Robert saw it. He was a quiet accountant who taught me budgeting and investing. He'd pull me aside at family gatherings. "Don't let them get to you, kid. You just keep building your own life. That's the only thing you can control." So when my father stood up at the party, that entire history was simmering below the surface. His toast was hollow, then he dropped the bomb. Sophia's $60,000 wedding fund will be given to her sister Bethany. The silence was deafening. I looked at Ryan, his face pale with shock. I looked at Bethany, who smirked smugly. She knew this was coming. This was a planned ambush. "Dad, that's not funny," I managed to say, trying to de-escalate. "This isn't a joke," my father repeated coldly. "Bethany is getting married soon. She needs it more than you do. You're just a nurse, you can earn it back." I stood up slowly. "Dad, that money is legally mine. It was transferred to me on my 21st birthday." My mother jumped in. Don't be selfish, Sophia. Bethany is your sister. Family helps family. You've always been the responsible one. I've always worked more. The words ripped out. I worked through nursing school. I saved. Bethany blew her fund on designer bags and failed businesses. She's building a brand, Evelyn snapped shrilly. What brand? Another Instagram scam? I shot back. That's when it happened. My father's face flushed angry red, and he took 2 quick steps toward me. The slap was loud and sharp. My head snapped to the side. The room froze in disbelief. Then chaos erupted. Ryan screamed my name and rushed to my side. Natasha was on her feet, furious. Dr. Mitchell looked horrified. I saw Ryan's sister recording. As I straightened up and met my father's gaze, something inside me broke. Or maybe it was finally forged into something unbreakable. Years of swallowing anger, accepting injustice, trying to be the good daughter, it all evaporated. Before police arrived, Uncle Robert came over, concerned. Sophia, he's your father. What he did was wrong, but think about this. Don't decide in anger. This will tear the family apart forever. I looked at this man I loved and respected. For a split second, I hesitated. Was he right? I looked past him at my father, showing no remorse, only indignation. My mother playing victim. Bethany watching with triumphant hatred. Then I looked at Ryan, standing firm, eyes blazing with protective fire, ready to go to war for me. The choice became clear. My old family was a sinking ship. My new family stood before me. I appreciate you, Uncle Robert, but they tore this family apart long ago. I'm just refusing to go down with them. When Officer Rodriguez asked what happened, my voice was steady. I told him everything. The waiter who called 911 gave his statement. Ryan's sister offered video evidence. Your father claims this is just a family dispute. Do you want to press charges? Every fiber screamed to say no, to keep peace. But I thought about years of being second best. The casual cruelty. The future they tried to sabotage. I met his gaze. Yes, I said clearly. Yes, I do. That word was the sound of a door slamming shut on my past. I didn't realize it was also the sound of war beginning. The moment handcuffs clicked around my father's wrists, a surreal calm descended. The elegant restaurant transformed into a silent stage. My father, Harold Caldwell, a man who built his identity on control and public image, was being escorted out by police. He didn't look scared or remorseful. He looked indignant. As they led him past our table, his eyes locked onto mine, not a father shamed, but a king betrayed. It was a look that promised retribution. My mother followed behind, a storm of dramatic sobs. How could you do this to your own father? She wailed for everyone to hear. After everything we've done for you. Bethany stood there, fists clenched, face masked with pure hatred. She looked at me like I was a snake. In her mind, my father's humiliation was entirely my fault. My refusal to be a doormat was the ultimate crime. The party was over. People left in hushed waves. The Mitchells were incredible. Dr. Mitchell put a firm hand on my shoulder. We are with you, Sophia. 100%. Natasha stayed to handle restaurant management. Ryan never left my side. He was my anchor in the chaos. Later that night, back at our apartment, adrenaline wore off and the weight crashed down. The apartment felt too quiet. Congratulatory gifts seemed to mock us. I sank onto the couch, head in my hands, and the strength I'd shown crumbled. Ryan, what did I just do? My voice was muffled. I had my own father arrested. He sat beside me, wrapping his arms around me. He didn't offer platitudes. He just held me. Was there another way? Uncle Robert said I was tearing the family apart. Ryan made me look at him, eyes fierce. Sophia, listen. You didn't do this. A family isn't a suicide pact where one person sets themselves on fire to keep others warm. They've hurt you for years. Tonight they did it publicly, and you finally said enough. You didn't throw the first punch, you just decided not to get knocked out. His words cut through guilt and doubt. This wasn't about money. It was about the slap, their message, you are our property. My charges were my message back, no, you're not. But I'd underestimated their capacity for retaliation. I thought arrest would be a wake-up call. I was wrong. It was war, and they were launching their counteroffensive. A week later, I got a call at the hospital. My supervisor, Dr. Martinez, sounded uncomfortable. "Sophia, can you come to my office?" She closed the door and held a thick envelope. "I received this today. It's from an attorney representing your father." My blood ran cold. She pushed it across. High-priced law firm letterhead. I read, and my stomach dropped. Not a lawsuit for $60,000, something more insidious. A formal complaint to hospital leadership. It painted me as unstable, aggressive, vindictive. It framed my police call not as responding to assault, but as calculated elder abuse designed to humiliate my father. It implied my erratic behavior made me a liability in healthcare. They were attacking my livelihood, trying to make me unemployable. "These are lies," I said, blood draining from my face. Dr. Martinez sighed. "Your work's always been excellent, but we have patience, reputation to maintain. This is messy. Just be careful." Message clear, thin ice. The letter was just beginning. Next came social media. Bethany and her boyfriend launched a smear campaign. Vague posts about family betrayal, being stabbed in the back. They didn't use my name, but everyone knew. Then worse. A cousin called, voice dripping fake sympathy. "Sophia, so sorry to hear Ryan cheated and the wedding's off. Your mom told me." I was stunned. "That's not true. We're still getting married." But the lie was out. Someone, likely Bethany, created fake emails pretending to be me, announcing wedding cancellation due to Ryan's infidelity. They circulated a photoshopped picture of Ryan with some random woman. Vile, desperate attempt to isolate us, turn our support against us. Pressure mounted at work. Whispers. Stares. A major research project was quietly reassigned. Ryan was stressed too. His family got worried calls. The poison spread. Their strategy: couldn't beat me legally, so break me psychologically. Make life miserable until I dropped charges. One night, staring at hateful comments on Bethany's social media, I felt helpless. Natasha came over with wine, saw my face. "Don't let them win," she said firmly. "This is what they want, you feeling alone and overwhelmed." "It's working," I whispered. "They're attacking Ryan, my job. What do I do?" Natasha's expression turned serious. "We don't get overwhelmed. We get smart." "That fake email? There are ways to trace it. My IT contact can help." A spark of hope flickered. For weeks I'd been defensive, reacting. Now I saw a path to fight back. This wasn't just about protection anymore. They'd brought Ryan into this, threatened our future. My despair curdled into cold resolve. They wanted war? Fine. But I wouldn't fight with lies and drama. I'd fight with something they never saw coming, the cold, hard truth. The decision to fight back was like a switch flipping. Fear and helplessness were replaced by sharp, focused anger. Not hot, reckless anger like my father's, but cold, methodical. They'd pushed me into a corner. Now I was going to chew my way out. Natasha was true to her word. Her IT contact gave us pointers. Tracing spoofed emails wasn't simple, he warned. But Bethany, for all her scheming, was lazy. She wasn't a master hacker, just a spoiled brat with internet access. She'd likely made mistakes. We started grinding. Evenings spent not planning our wedding, but analyzing email headers, learning IP addresses and server logs. Tedious, frustrating work. Ryan brought coffee, his face worried but determined. He researched Bethany's social media, cross-referencing post times with fake email timestamps. We needed legal help but couldn't afford high-priced lawyers like my father had. Our real estate investment money wasn't for fighting family. Then Natasha had an idea. Remember Jennifer from law school? She works at a small firm downtown now. I found her on LinkedIn, explained the situation. To my surprise, she responded within hours, agreeing to meet. Jennifer wasn't high-powered, but she was young, hungry, and hated bullies. When we laid out everything, the slap, arrest, complaint to my job, smear campaign, her eyes hardened. Classic harassment and defamation, she said crisply. Designed to inflict maximum distress, force you to drop assault charges. They think you'll run out of money first. She agreed to help for reduced cost, working after hours. Passion project, she said with a grim smile. With Jennifer guiding us, efforts became focused. Goal: build undeniable evidence. We documented everything: social media posts, confused relative texts, sworn statements from friends who received fake emails. We dug into what my family never discussed: money. Hours at the bank getting official wedding fund statements, showing origin and legal transfer on my 21st birthday. Then Bethany's records. With Uncle Robert's guilty help, we pieced together financial timelines. It was damning. Thousands my parents gave Bethany, money for failed influencer schemes and designer bags she couldn't afford. The contrast was stark. My accounts showed disciplined deposits from nursing shifts and smart investments. Hers showed massive parental infusions followed by reckless spending. Then our breakthrough. After dead ends, Ryan found it. A mistake. Bethany used public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop for fake emails, but her phone connected to personal cloud, leaving digital breadcrumbs. We could definitively tie the email account to Bethany Caldwell. Not enough for criminal conviction, but as Jennifer explained, more than enough for our purposes. Then I remembered something from months ago, Father bragging about a huge potential client that could save his struggling construction business. Harold Caldwell Construction was losing clients, and he was pinning hopes on landing a massive contract with Fortune 500 company Northwind Corporation. They're all about ethics, he'd boasted. Only work with stable firms. This deal will save us. A dangerous, audacious plan formed. Ryan, with his tech expertise, researched Northwind. Their CEO, Michael Davenport, was a corporate titan and public advocate for business ethics. His entire brand was integrity. My father was trying to ruin my reputation to save his own, using lies to paint me unstable. What if I used truth to show Northwind who their potential partner really was? Jennifer framed it perfectly: you're not attacking him. You're protecting yourself. He questioned your stability to your employer. You have every right to ensure business partners have accurate information. It's not slander if it's true. We assembled a devastating information package: event summary, police report, smear campaign evidence, fake email traces to Bethany, contrasting financial records, and the slap video. Jennifer drafted a cool, professional cover letter stating that as a fellow professional, I felt ethically obligated to provide this information for situational awareness regarding business partnerships. Corporate judo. Using father's own world against him. We couriered the package to Michael Davenport's office. As delivery confirmation pinged, I felt terror and exhilaration. I'd rolled the dice, not knowing if the CEO would read it or trash it. The battle was no longer in public opinion or office hallways. I'd taken the fight to my father's world's heart. I was no longer in the storm's eye. I was the storm. The weeks after sending the package to Northwind were the quietest and most nerve-wracking of my life. Like holding your breath underwater, waiting to surface or burst. We heard nothing. No angry calls from my father, no new attacks from Bethany. The silence was unsettling. We focused on wedding plans, trying to reclaim normalcy. But the question hung: what was happening behind the scenes? The answer came in a thick, cream envelope. An invitation to Harold Caldwell Construction's annual Client Appreciation Gala. My father's biggest event, a schmooze fest projecting success when that success was failing. Normally, this would go straight to trash. But Ryan and I weren't invited by my father. The invitation came from a vendor that worked with both my hospital and his company. We had legitimate reason to be there. "It's a trap," I said, tossing it on the counter. Or, Ryan said, picking it up, eyes gleaming strategically, "It's an opportunity. The perfect stage." He was right. This wasn't just a party. It was my father's entire world, all his clients and contacts in one room. The lion's den, and we were walking right into it. The night of the gala, anxiety knotted my stomach. I stood before the mirror adjusting my dress. Ryan came behind me, hands on my shoulders. "Whatever happens, we face it together," he said, our reflections meeting. We walk in with heads high, and walk out the same way. No matter what. I took a deep breath. Heads high, no matter what. The downtown hotel ballroom dripped with forced elegance. String quartet in the corner, waiters circulating champagne. I saw my father across the room, holding court, laughing a booming laugh that didn't reach his eyes. He looked thinner, stress lines deeper around his mouth. My mother was beside him in a sparkling dress, smile brittle. Bethany was there too, looking smug, already on her third champagne. For the first hour, we played the part. Worked the room, talked to our vendor, chatted with industry contacts. I felt Father's eyes on me. He hadn't approached us, just watching, waiting. Air thick with unspoken tension. Then the main event began. My father took the stage for his keynote. He basked in applause, started with corporate platitudes, then took a personal turn. He talked about resilience, facing unexpected challenges. In business, as in life, he said somberly, you sometimes face betrayal from unexpected places. The jealousy and misunderstanding of a younger generation that doesn't appreciate sacrifices made for them. He was talking about me. In a room full of professional peers, painting himself as wise, wounded patriarch and me as ungrateful, villainous daughter. My fists clenched. Blood pounding in my ears. He was about to launch into family values when a man at the front table stood up. Tall, silver hair, absolute authority. I recognized him instantly from Ryan's research. Michael Davenport, CEO of Northwind Corporation. The room fell silent. Interrupting the host's speech was major etiquette breach. Davenport's voice was calm but cut like a razor. "Harold, forgive the interruption, but your mention of values and betrayal prompts me to make an announcement." My father's smile froze. He looked utterly bewildered. Davenport continued, gaze sweeping the room. Northwind Corporation prides itself on partnering with firms demonstrating highest integrity, professionally and personally. After reviewing very troubling information recently brought to light, we've decided to terminate our prospective partnership discussions with Harold Caldwell Construction, effective immediately. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the ballroom. My father looked physically struck. Face went white. Mouth opened, no sound. But Davenport wasn't finished. His eyes scanned, then landed directly on me. However, our commitment to finding partners with integrity remains. Which is why I'm pleased to announce we've just signed a major long-term contract with a young, dynamic professional who's impressed us with talent and unwavering commitment to ethics. He raised his glass. Please join me in congratulating Sophia Caldwell and her real estate investment firm. The room erupted in confusion and shock. Every head turned toward me. Like a spotlight slammed down on our table. Ryan squeezed my hand so hard I thought bones would break. I stood up, legs unsteady. Everything came into focus. This was it. Checkmate. I walked toward the stage, toward my father still standing at the podium, looking utterly broken. His entire empire, his facade of power and prestige, dismantled in 60 seconds. As I passed him, I leaned close, voice a low whisper only he could hear. You taught me that in business, reputation is everything. I was just applying the lesson. I didn't wait for reply. I walked past him toward Michael Davenport and shook his outstretched hand. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I could feel my father's world crashing down behind me. The sound was deafening. The gala ended in chaotic whispers and sideways glances. We didn't stay long. After shaking Mr. Davenport's hand and accepting his congratulations with poise I didn't know I possessed, we made a quiet exit. The image of my father's face, ashen, hollowed out, the powerful patriarch's mask completely shattered, was burned into my mind. The drive home was silent. We were processing the magnitude of what happened. Not just victory, public vindication on a scale I'd never imagined. My father hadn't just lost a contract. He'd lost his reputation, the currency he valued above all else. He was now a pariah. Back at our apartment, Ryan and I stood in the living room. Then laughter escaped my lips. It started small, grew into a full-blown, cathartic roar. Ryan joined in, and we laughed until tears streamed down our faces. Relief, disbelief, a pressure valve finally released after months of tightening. In following weeks, fallout was swift and brutal. News travels fast in business. The story of Harold Caldwell Construction's public humiliation at their own gala became town talk. Father's remaining clients pulled away, not wanting association with scandal. 2 months later, our wedding day arrived, everything the engagement party wasn't. Perfect. We held it outdoors at a botanical garden, surrounded by a smaller, intimate group who'd stood by us through fire. Our true family. There was security, just in case. But the day was peaceful. No outbursts, no confrontations. Bethany and my parents were nowhere seen. As if a toxic cloud had lifted, letting sun shine through. During reception, Uncle Robert came up to me. His eyes held sad, quiet respect. He pulled me into a hug. "I was wrong, Sophia," he whispered, voice thick with emotion. "I was so focused on keeping family from breaking, I didn't see it was already broken. You did the right thing. You stood up for yourself. I'm proud of you." Hearing those words from him, the man representing traditional values I'd been forced to defy, felt like final healing clicking into place. The speeches from Natasha and Dr. Mitchell weren't standard wedding toasts. They were tributes to resilience, integrity, the power of building life based on mutual respect. The whole day felt less like a wedding, more like celebration of survival and victory. Weeks after our honeymoon, Ryan and I closed on our first home. Not a mansion, a charming 2-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood with big windows letting in morning light. The $60,000 that had catalyzed this entire war went toward the down payment. First night there, surrounded by moving boxes, we ordered pizza and ate on the floor. I held new keys, feeling the cool metal weight. This was real. This was ours. We'd built this not with inherited money or handouts, but with hard work and courage to fight for what was right. The money was just symbol. The real prize was this, freedom to turn our own key in our own lock, to build sanctuary safe from past toxicity. Final confirmation of Father's downfall came not with bang, but quiet email. Natasha forwarded a local business journal link. Headline was short: Harold Caldwell Construction files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. I read the article. All there in cold business language: mounting debts, lost clients, inability to secure funding. No mention of family drama, but I knew the truth. I knew the real reason for every word. I didn't feel triumph or joy. Just quiet. It was over. The war was truly, finally over. A year can change everything. 12 months after bankruptcy notice, the world looked completely different. The Northwind contract had been rocket fuel for my real estate business and career. Ryan and I took momentum and ran. We expanded my investment portfolio and started our joint venture, Caldwell Mitchell Properties. It was risk, but felt natural. We were a team in life, became powerhouse in business. He was the tech strategist, brilliant systems architect who could streamline any operation. I was the investment engine, translating his efficiency into profitable real estate deals. We worked long hours, fueled by coffee and shared dreams. And it worked. Our firm started growing, thriving. We were building something entirely ours. The best part had nothing to do with business. 8 months after wedding, our daughter Lily was born. Holding her for the first time, this tiny, perfect human recalibrated my entire universe. All anger, all bitterness toward my father just seemed to fade. It didn't disappear, but lost its power. Replaced by overwhelming, fierce need to protect this new life, give her love and security I never had. I hadn't heard from my parents or sister since the gala. Clean break. I sent them formal birth announcement, more from lingering duty than anything else. Didn't expect reply, didn't get one. Their silence was a gift. Then, one rainy Tuesday afternoon, there was a knock on our office door. I opened it, and my breath caught. It was my mother. I hadn't seen her in over a year. She looked diminished. Expensive clothes hung loosely on her frail frame. The proud, defiant look was gone, replaced by deep, weary sadness. Lines on her face told a story of stress and defeat. "Evelyn," I said. It felt strange using her first name. Mom didn't fit anymore. "Sophia, can I come in?" she asked, voice barely a whisper. I hesitated, then stepped aside. She walked into our bright, modern office, looking around at awards on walls, storyboards, as if she'd entered a foreign country. We sat in our meeting area. She wouldn't meet my eyes, just twisted her old, worn handbag strap. "I suppose you're wondering why I'm here," she finally said. The thought crossed my mind, I replied neutrally. I was building a wall around myself, brick by brick. I wouldn't let her find a crack. She took a shaky breath. I thought she'd apologize. I thought this was the moment of remorse I'd once craved. I was wrong. Again. "We're in trouble, Sophia," she said, voice cracking. "Your father hasn't been the same. He doesn't leave the house. The bankruptcy broke him. We're losing the house. Foreclosure notice came last week." She finally looked at me, eyes swimming with desperate tears. "We have nowhere to go. I'm here to beg. We need your help. We need money." I stared at her. After everything. After public humiliation, lies, attacks on my career, complete lack of remorse, she was here for a handout. The sheer, breathtaking audacity almost made me laugh. But looking at her, the hollowed-out shell she'd become, I felt profound pity. This was my final test. The old Sophia, who craved parental approval, might have given in. Might have seen this as a chance to finally be the hero, the savior. But I wasn't that person anymore. I stood up, walked to my desk, took out a pen and wrote 2 things on paper. I walked back and slid it across to her. She looked down, confused. "I won't give you money," I said, voice quiet but firm. "Giving you money would be putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. You don't have a money problem. You have a problem of pride, accountability. The first name is a financial advisor. The best. He helps people restructure their lives. The second is a family therapist, very good." I leaned forward slightly. "I won't let you and Dad end up on the street. I'll pay for the first 5 sessions with both. That's the help I'm offering. The only help that will actually change anything. The rest is up to you." She stared at the paper, then at me, eyes wide with disbelief and a flicker of something else. Maybe, for the first time, a sliver of understanding. She'd come looking for a check. I'd given her a lifeline. But one she had to grab herself. She took the paper, folded it with trembling hands, put it in her purse. She stood up, mumbled thanks, and walked out of my office and life without another word. I didn't know if she'd ever use those numbers. But it didn't matter. I'd done the right thing, on my terms. I'd offered a path to rebuilding, not just a patch for ruins. I'd finally drawn a boundary, Not of anger, but of health. And in doing so, I felt truly, completely free. It's been a few years since that last meeting. Our firm, Caldwell Mitchell Properties, has become one of the most respected real estate investment companies in the city. Life is good. Busy, chaotic, but a life Ryan and I built together, on our terms, from ground up. Lily is 4 now, a whirlwind of laughter and endless questions. Sometimes, watching her play in our backyard, my mind drifts back to that night at Silver Oak. It feels like someone else's life. The anger and hurt have faded, polished by time into a smooth, hard lesson I carry daily. I learned the $60,000 was never about money. It was about control. About respect. The price tag of my self-worth. And I decided, finally, that I was not for sale. I learned family isn't just about shared blood. It's about people who show up for you, stand beside you when you're down, celebrate your victories as their own, respect your boundaries, and love you for who you are, not who they want you to be. My family is Ryan, Lily, Natasha, the Mitchells. They are the architecture of my life. My father and I have never spoken again. I heard through grapevine that he and my mother sold the big house, moved into a small condo across town. I don't know if they used the numbers I gave them. I hope they did. I hope they found peace. But their journey is their own. I can't walk it for them. Bethany sends angry, rambling emails yearly, usually around holidays, blaming me for her problems. I delete them without reading. She's a ghost from a past I no longer inhabit. The most important lesson, the one I want to teach my daughter, is simple: standing up for yourself isn't selfish. It isn't cruel. It's survival. It's how you teach the world to treat you. It's how you build a life of peace, not quiet desperation. Your boundaries protect the garden of your happiness. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself, and even others, is to build a strong fence. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it resonated with you. Have you ever had to draw a hard line in the sand, even with people you loved? Let me know in the comments below. I read everyone. And if you'd like to hear more stories, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It really does help.